Okay, what's up everybody? Barbara Guy here. UFC 205. Many people consider it's the greatest UFC pay-per-view ever. Greatest combat pay-per-view ever, and I agree with that. What do you think of that? I think the whole card, the fact that it was the first card in New York for the UFC after all the struggles they went through with the culinary industry, trying to push the UFC out, trying to push MMA out. Just absolute stupid move that you can see with 205 with the money it generated. It was the greatest generation of money the UFC's ever got from pay-per-view, over 17 million, which beat out UFC 129. St. Pierre vs. Shields in Toronto, the Air Canada Center, Skydome, Rogers Center, whatever you want to call it now. So I just want to discuss 205 being the greatest ever. 189 had Conor McGregor, Chad Mendes, Rory McDonald, Robbie Lawler. Had Dennis Bermudez versus Jeremy Stevens. Had Thomas Almeida versus Brad Pickett. And then as well as another fight that I am completely blanking on. But I think 205 beats that by a long shot. Shout out to the prelims. Started off with Khabib versus Johnson and Frankie versus Jeremy Stevens. Absolutely phenomenal prelim cards. For those two fights alone, those were the only ones on prelims. Would have made the whole prelim card anyways. So the main card started off with Miesha Tate versus Cal Pennington. Miesha Tate lost by decision. Had Joanna versus Carolina. Had Yoel flying knee against Chris Weidman. It was absolutely phenomenal. I love that KO. A big Yoel fan. Yoel was losing that first two rounds and he came out with a flying knee and just absolutely shut the lights out and brought the whole place to a stand. Then one of three title fights that night, Joanna versus Carolina, was absolutely phenomenal. Big Joanna fan. Joanna dominated for 5 rounds. Showed that she is the best 115 women's strawweight fighter in the world today. And one of the best female fighters in the world and one of the best fighters. One of the best MMA fighters, period. Co-main event, Woodley, Wonderboy, which was a good fight. I remember in the 3rd round, Woodley had Wonderboy in a guillotine. Wonderboy's face is just blue and purple, and he somehow survives. It's an absolutely phenomenal fight. Unfortunately, it went to a draw. 2 judges had it 47-47. One judge had it 48-47. They eventually had their rematch, which many people considered it was a draw as well at 208. So that was a good matchup for those two guys. Great fighters. Great fight for that division. It's unfortunate that they match up like that for draws. And the main event, the one that everyone came to see, he's the reason why there's $17 million put into that made from that pay-per-view. Conor McGregor versus Eddie Alvarez. Conor destroys Eddie in dramatic fashion, in spectacular fashion, and Conor cements himself as the star of the UFC. Cements himself as one of the best fighters in the world. Cements himself as a legitimate double champ. It's the first time that a fighter has held two titles in two different weight classes simultaneously. Conor McGregor showed his muscle, showed his grit, and showed his stardom, and showed why he deserves to be the double champ, and why he deserved to be the main event for that card. All in all, that card was phenomenal. Love rewatching those fights. Love rewatching the prelims. Greatest fight card ever, hands down. Nothing competes. Nothing's close to it. The 189 is close. 194 is close. 196 is close. 202 close. All those have one thing in common: Conor McGregor. I think 205 hands down the best ever. The fights were amazing. The money made from it, in fact, that it was in New York, Madison Square Garden, greatest green arena in the world. So, UFC 189, my opinion. UFC 205, the greatest pay-per-view of all time, in my opinion. Greatest MMA pay-per-view, UFC pay-per-view, combat sports pay-per-view of all time. If you have any ones that you think are better, let me know in the comments below. It's the best, greatest card ever. Love rewatching it. UFC 205. If you haven't seen it, go watch it. It's on Fight Pass. You know, Fight Pass. Subscribe to Fight Pass. UFC 205, greatest ever.